Hey, besties, welcome to another edition of the Bestie Advice. Actually, this is our season finale of Love and Marriage. And I am so excited about today's show because the generals are in the house. You are going to hear
Absolutely.
from Archbishop William Hudson III and our favorite lady pastor, Andria Hudson. And so I'm gonna read a little bio that I wrote for both of them. So today's guests are visionary leaders. They're builders of people. They both carry voices that carry both legacy and fire. And so, talking about Archbishop Hudson, in December 1990, he stepped fully into pastoral ministry, establishing what we now know as the Powerhouse Chicago. Humbly beginning on 69th Street and growing into a thriving ministry, serving now over 3,000 members each week. With the mission rooted in Daniel 1 and 20, he has remained committed to empowering people to become 10 times better in every area of their lives. He is both a scholar and a shepherd, earning his bachelor's degree from Chicago State University and a master's of divinity from North Baptist Theological Seminary, equipping him to lead both wisdom and revelation. Consecrated as a bishop in 2010 and later enthroned as a presiding bishop in 2016, he has carried the gospel across more than 40 states and into international territories, leaving a lasting imprint wherever he goes. He is known for his dynamic preaching, his prophetic sound in worship, and his unique grace to raise leaders and ignite transformation. He doesn't just preach the word, he births atmosphere of healing, breakthroughs, and deliverance. He is a true general in the kingdom, unlocking new dimensions with ancient keys. Now for his better half, Pastor Lady Hudson. She is a powerhouse of her own and a true general in the kingdom as well. A voice of transformation, a playwright, an author, a speaker, and a leader who shaped lives across nations and around the world. She's a graduate of Lewis University, where she's earned a degree in political science with a minor in journalism, an academic foundation that has fueled her impact as a best-selling author, playwright, and screenplay writer. More than a communicator, she is a catalyst with the message rooted in purpose, growth, and living without regret. She has dedicated her life to empowering people to discover who they are and who they created to be. Over a decade ago, she founded Andria S. Hudson Enterprises, a lifestyle brand and consulting firm that bridges ministry and marketplace, equipping individuals and organizations to grow with intentions and excellence. Her influence has been recognized across major platforms, including the Boss Network, Authority Magazine, iHeartMedia, the Chicago Defender. Her greatest impact is yet to come as she transforms lives daily. She serves faithfully along her husband as the assistant pastor of the Powerhouse, where they both train leaders, mentor pastors and spouses, and they advance the kingdom with such wisdom and grace. Please help me welcome our very special guest, Archbishop William Hudson III, and his beautiful, amazing wife, Lady Pastor Andria S. Hudson. Welcome you both to the Bestie Advice. We are so excited to
Yes.
have you.
Wow. We're on
Hello,
the Bestie
besties. We're so
Advice.
glad to be here.
Thank you
Glad to
all.
be
Thank you
here.
all. Yes, we
Thank
are
you.
excited.
We want to know, how did you guys meet? Like, tell us the love story, and how long have you been married?
Oh, this is going to be a very interesting story that we would need to compact it so we don't spend all night talking about it. Archbishop, would you like to go first?
Well, it all started in church. I saw her at a service and she looked beautiful and so amazing. So I went to her parents and I inquired, was she single or married? And the parents gave me the okay. So I went for it, in Jesus' name. No. I gave her my number in the presence of her parents. It will be 22 years ago in 2026, August 14th. And we have never missed a day talking since that day, if I can remember correctly. Come on in, lady, help me with the rest.
No, that is exactly what happened. I've always known of Pastor William Hudson III. He used to come to my parents' church many, many years ago when I was a teenager and preach and lay everybody out. Never thought in a million years that I would be marrying him. Never crossed my mind at all. So what the day that he's speaking of happened many years later. That our paths just happened to cross at another person's church. It was actually one of our mutual friends that was being installed as a pastor, and he was a great friend of my parents. He's a great friend of Archbishop, and I was single at the time, and working a full-time job, going to school, but I always loved going to church. Like a lot
Hmm.
of young people in church,
Yeah.
church kids, you just
Hmm.
like to go from service to service, musical to musical. And my parents told me about the installation service. I said, yeah, I would love to go. And he was there. He was there in rare form, being himself. And after the service, like pastors and spouses do, you fellowship, there's a reception. And I happened to be there with my mom and dad when he, asked me, for my number, gave me his number in front of my dad.
Hmm.
And the rest is history.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So you
And
did it
that
the
Yes.
right
happened in the
way.
year of 2000. That was in 2000.
Oh
And
wow.
Wow.
yeah, that was
Now
in
I
2000.
did I did give her a prophetic word without knowing her or
Yeah,
nothing years ago
yeah.
that she would one day marry a wealthy man. I had no idea it was me. I did not know her, so it was no flesh.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess the Lord brought it to pass. So that's
And
our
that happened when
story.
I was a teenager. So my mind was
Wow.
never that, yeah, he called me out. I was no more than about 16 or 17. And so I wasn't thinking about marriage. I was just thinking about trying to get through high school.
Yeah.
Right,
And
right, right, right.
yeah, he was actually talking about himself. So
Oh Lord,
God
I
has a sense of
didn't know.
humor.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Beautiful love story. So I do want to ask you all are the leaders of a great Reformation, Pilgrim International Assemblies, but you all are also serial entrepreneurs. Not only do you all pastor, but you all are business owners. You both are authors. So I do want to know from you regarding your marriage. How do you all carry so much responsibility and visibility, and how do you protect that? How do you protect your marriage while carrying
Yeah.
all of this responsibility and this visibility? Because everybody know Bishop and Lady. Anybody that I ask, they know Bishop and Lady Hudson. So you all are out there, and it's a great responsibility.
I think I'll go first. You want me to go first, Archbishop?
Come on, go for
I think what helps us with our marriage is that we're friends. Like we are the
That's good.
best of friends. We established a friendship when we were dating, and like he said earlier, even when we were dating, we didn't see each other a lot
Yeah.
because of him being a pastor.
Yes.
So we weren't out and about, so everybody could see who we were and what we were doing. We created boundaries then
it.
regarding exposure to our relationship, and I believe that has even carried on even into our marriage. But we established a friendship, and I think what really helps us is the fact that we really love being in each other's presence. That while we may be public figures to everyone, when we are near each other, he's, William, and I'm Andrea to him. And our
Yes.
hey,
Yes.
we have a solid friendship. I mean, we have fun together. I
That's
couldn't
good.
imagine being in a marriage where I don't laugh. I love to laugh.
Yes.
I love to have fun. And when we're together, it's nothing deep. People think that, we're in the clouds every single day because of we preach, we minister, and all of that. We have fun. We
Yes.
love to laugh. We love to have a good time. And when we're home, we are home as husband and wife, not bishop,
Yes.
first lady. We talk about
Yes.
ministry, of course. We discuss business, but when we're home, we are home. This is our
That's good.
sanctuary. And I think that's what really protects our marriage is that when we're together, we know that we have an audience with each other. It's just him and I.
Yes.
That's it. That's all.
That was a great answer, lady. I think one of the most powerful things is happiness. We have made up in our minds that we're going to be happy, and
Yes,
private happiness is more important than public success. What is
that's good.
life? And you're
That's
helping
good.
everybody else, and you go home and you are
Yes.
miserable at home. So,
No,
our
that's true.
personal happiness. When I come home, I'm glad to come home. It is a joy to come home. And another thing that we have instituted in our marriage is meetings. So we have family meetings, we have business meetings, and we have personal meetings. So those three meetings, personal meetings, where a lady says, okay, I have had enough church. You must take me out on a date. I want to go to the show. I want to go to the dinner. I want to go bowling. I don't want to hear about no church. And I have to do that. We have
Yeah.
fun meetings, family meetings where we need to
Yeah.
discuss family issues,
Yeah.
disagreements, problems, and then business meetings where we need to make decisions to find out what we're going to do. So scheduling
Yeah.
those three meetings help us separate the business part from the natural part, if that's helpful.
That's very helpful.
Yes.
No,
Yes,
that's
it is.
good. You answered like two of my questions, both of you already. And so, looking at the side, going back to looking at the spiritual side, being Archbishop and Lady Hudson, you've raised so many spiritual sons and daughters in the ministry. What is spiritual parenthood? What does that mean to you?
Archbishop, would you like to go?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well, mentoring and motivating leaders is the gift that God has given me. I started ministry early. I started preaching at the age of 3. I was licensed at 11. I was ordained at 12. And I learned that God allowed me to experience ministry at an early age so I could mentor and model and help others. We don't know everything, but
Yeah.
some answers that we've learned through experience we impart into our spiritual sons and daughters. So we have monthly meetings, Zoom sessions, monthly leadership classes, just teaching and training. And that's my purpose. That inspires me. My purpose is leadership. And so, lady, and I'm sure she's going to tell you the story, I brought her into teaching and training first ladies. And I
Yes.
forced her into this. And I found out years later that she was shocked, overwhelmed, and come on in, lady, let's talk about this.
I wasn't ready for that. We hadn't been married a long time, so I was still trying to figure out who I was as a pastor's wife.
Yes.
When he felt the strong call, I mean, he's always known that he was a pastor's pastor, a leader's leader, but when he felt that it was time for him to step into the calling of really pastoring pastors and really being that spiritual father, that was shortly after we got married. I'm talking about maybe 2.5, 3 years into our marriage, and I'm still learning how to be a pastor's wife. I did not understand it, why he wanted me to do that. I understood that that was his calling.
Yeah.
And I had no problem being there to support him. But now you telling me to do something that I totally do not feel
Yeah.
equipped to do because I'm still
Hmm.
learning myself. And I
Yeah.
think that that's just the nature of God, that
Yeah.
he calls those who feels disqualified. God never waits for you to be everything for him
Mm-mm.
to
Yes.
launch you. Even when we look throughout the Bible, he called every single person and they were not ready. They would even
Yes.
rehearse their insecurities to God and say, hey, why are you doing this to me? I got this going on and I got that going on. And I felt that way at that time. But I trusted the God in my husband and I trusted his leadership. And I trusted that what God had called him to do, he had also called me to do as well. So that first time of doing that, I was nervous. I didn't know what I was saying. But over time, God began to stretch me. And I began to move by faith and impart into pastors' wives and women. And women, that's
Hmm.
part of my calling. I love imparting into women. And I think that it's again, it's just what God sees on you that we don't always see ourselves. God
Mm-hmm.
sees something on you that He created for you that you don't even see. And at that time, I
Yes.
didn't see it, but I'm grateful to God that my husband, followed the leading of God's voice. And while I didn't understand it, I followed his leading. And now, many, many years later, God has graced us to do what we do.
Amen. And look, and we thank God for the both
Do.
of you all. Look, yielding and saying, yes,
I
Lord.
want to thank you, Lady Karan, because you were one of those first ladies that was there in the beginning. I don't know what I was saying to you, sweetheart. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you, thank you, thank
No,
you.
no, I would not have been able to tell. Look, besties out there, I'm telling you, being under the leadership of Bishop and Lady Hudson, the only thing you're going to do is either you're going to grow or you're going to back up. You're going
Yeah.
to grow or you're going to back up. With me, it pushed me to actually grow. Just having you as an example, Lady Hudson, before me,
Mhm.
you weren't a arrogant first lady. You weren't a quiet first lady sitting there cute. You're beautiful, but sitting there cute with your ankles crossed. Like, no, you were involved in ministry. And I knew with my background that I was involved in ministry before my husband became a first lady, became the pastor, that I need to continue to do that. So you are an example of that. You are an example of the Renaissance woman, of the Renaissance first lady, if I
Yes.
can even say it like that. You do it all. And I love it. I love it. But I do want to ask you
Lady
all,
Karan, this is so powerful that you mentioned
yes,
that because
yes,
a part of my purpose is to launch women into ministry.
Yeah.
yes,
And, my wife was sitting there next to me all of these years, and I didn't realize that the help I needed was right in the bed with me.
Yeah.
And one day in
yes,
service, I said it out loud. It was a public moment, and I called her and anointed her as the pastor of the church because women have been mistreated, overlooked, not received fair opportunity. But I believe God does
yes.
not call us according to gender. He wants to use whoever he chooses. So my
Amen.
purpose in life, one of them, is to launch women and to push them. And so to hear you say that really just blessed my
Yes,
heart because
yes,
God uses all people.
And,
yes, he
and
does.
before we got married,
Yes,
when I came into the church as his wife, I didn't come in trying to be authoritative and lead. I came in and I sat for a year,
yeah,
and to become adjusted and to connect with the ministry. But there were women in leadership positions at the powerhouse. They were women that I looked up to, that I knew of,
mhm,
that had walks with God, that had walked with God for many years, and
yes,
I gleaned from them. So he's always had powerful women around him, and he's always had a passion of putting women in leadership.
And you
that's
took new
good.
members class and
I
everything.
did. He made
All of
me
the family.
take new members
Yeah,
class. And I did. I took all of my classes.
yes.
What he did not make me do, which he tried to do, was get me back in the baptism pool. And I told him I was already baptized.
Yeah.
I told him that. I said, call your in-laws. They will tell you that they baptized me in Jesus' name. He tried, but I said, now that's where I draw the line.
Right,
That
right,
was
right.
Where I draw the line.
it.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So speaking of purpose and ministry, and married couples that are out there, those specifically that are in ministry, what advice do you all give to those that feel that they may be losing themselves? As you all have
Yeah.
stated, you all are friends. It's not just ministry, 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 church, church, church. You all know when to set boundaries and when to pull back.
Mhm.
But some people don't know how to pull back, and it's ministry focused. They're single focused, and it's ministry all day. So for those couples out there who may feel that they're losing themselves in ministry or in purpose, what advice do you have for them to bring themselves back?
Oh, let me start.
Okay.
I am guilty. I am ministry, ministry, ministry all day. That is my purpose. I can do it all day, all night. I love doing it. I enjoy doing it. It is
Okay.
not work to me. It is life. It is purpose. It fulfills me. It satisfies me. So, lady is the balancer in our
That's
marriage.
good.
Every marriage is different. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she is the one that will ring the bell and say, hey, we need balance because I have no boundaries. I have no balance. She
Okay.
is the balancer. And whenever she rings that bell, I submit to her and say, yes, we need a vacation. Yes, we need a break. Yes,
Yes.
we need some fun. Yes. So every marriage, my suggestion would be someone has to be the balancer so that we do not get lost and we don't forget about each other. We need to make quality time for each other because you're going to be ineffective if you're not fulfilled and if you're not happy in private. Personal fulfillment and
Yes.
happiness causes success in public. So your
That's
needs
good.
have to be met
Mm.
sexually, emotionally,
Yep.
spiritually, in private. That when you
Yeah.
come out in public, you
Yeah.
are fulfilled.
Yep.
Come on and help me,
Yes.
lady.
No, you're absolutely correct. And I think that that would even be the same for a marriage where one of the spouses were just business driven.
Yeah.
A lot of marriages where, entrepreneurs both can be entrepreneurs, or one is working a 9 to 5 and the other's running a business, and their focus is business, business, business.
Yeah.
One of the spouses has to bring balance. So I make a joke in our house. I said, listen, both of us can't be so ministry strung out. Somebody gotta have some natural sense up in here, and it's gonna be me. I love God. I have a
Yeah.
great relationship with him, but somebody got to be human up in this marriage, and it's gonna be me because he is superhuman. He's not human. Like he says, he walks with God. He talks with God. He is Jesus' best friend, and
I love that.
he loves it. He loves his purpose. And I love my purpose as well, but I just feel like every relationship should have balance.
Mm-hmm.
Every marriage should have balance. So whether your marriage is ministry focused or business focused, or and this is not true for our culture at our house, but your marriage could be children focused.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. That's true.
That is
That's
true.
And
true.
so married couples oftentimes get lost in their
They do.
children.
Hmm.
And again, you have to have balance because before there were the children, it was just you and him.
Yeah.
Before there was the business, it was just you and him. And children grow up. Ministry, we don't know what the will of God is. We don't
Right.
know what
Yeah.
the
Right.
future holds.
Right.
So it's always good to invest in your marriage because that's what's going to last.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like that you're saying that because what I hear you saying is you both are intentional about choosing each other every single day and making time for each other every single day. And both of you have huge platforms. And I want to ask about, just advice for other pastors and co-pastors, assistant, first ladies that sit in that seat of co-pastors as well. How do you launch big vision or big goals or big ideas, but yet still continue to have that intimacy? Because I know both of you have a lot of things going on in your play. You have so many churches under you. You have all these and more. You have more inside of you that you want to launch. How do you do that, but still have that protect your intimacy?
Yeah.
I think understanding your identity is powerful. Every
Mm,
first lady is not a pastor. Don't
yeah.
Mhm.
follow the pressure to be a pastor
Yeah, that's
because your
so
Yes.
good.
husband is a pastor. That's a calling that comes from God. And if God didn't
Hmm.
call you to do that, do
Mhm.
not sit in that seat. Some first ladies should just be
Yes.
wives and first ladies. Do not
Hmm.
have to be a pastor. But my wife was a minister and in ministry before we got married. Let me give you a
Yes.
great example. This weekend, my wife was producing her own play. It was a successful production. She had two
Yes, it
shows.
was.
This
Yeah.
is the first time I couldn't come to both of her shows. And
Hmm.
I was consecrating a bishop into the office of the bishopric. So I couldn't be there with her. So my heart
Yeah.
was there and my presence wasn't there, but my heart was there. And so we talked about both of us being in our purpose and affirming each other. I'm not insecure. She's not insecure. I allow my wife to do everything that God has called her to do. When you have a husband who is in competition and has insecurity issues, they may try to stop their wives because they feel they're losing control. But our job is not to compete against each other, but complete each other. When I see my
Yes.
wife in her purpose, she's having rehearsals, she's having events. I am excited. I'm on fire to see her happy and satisfied doing what God has called her to do. Did I answer the question? Come on.
You
I
did.
don't know.
Join us next week for part 2. Thanks for joining us today. See you next time.